there, I'm Michaela. I'm 24 years old. I was born in Toronto. I was raised here my entire life. I really love helping people. I am really out and about. I love nature. I love doing things out in the city. So today I'm here to tell you another part of my story, so it's not always visible to strangers, even people that I know. This is my story. So growing up, I had a great childhood. I had a wonderful single mom. I had two awesome older brothers. They were very supportive. I grew up in the Flemo neighborhood, moved around a little bit to Malvern, North York. My dad was in and out of the picture, mostly out of the picture, and my mom did deal with a lot of mental health issues, been on disability for decades now. So it was a little rough, but overall we were very tight-knit, and growing up I didn't have too much troubles. I was really loved, and it made me a good person. So when I was younger, I thought that things would turn out okay, everything would be smooth sailing, but right around the age of 16 or so, that's when my life kind of turned around. So I first noticed that when I was in late high school, I was just getting really overwhelmed with things. I was breaking down more. I had to I wasn't attending classes and all that. So I just thought it was my ability, I couldn't cope with certain things. I got some accommodations. I ended up doing pre-med, so I was really thinking that, you know what, that's all behind me, and that was just a part of my life that I'm over with now. I'm on to bigger and better things. And that's really when I was physically sick, and then during that time my mental health just spiraled. Depression and anxiety really came to light. I was at that time diagnosed with generalized anxiety. I had depressive symptoms, and I stopped attending classes, and I never told anybody. I was on campus. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell my boyfriend at the time. So I pretty much for a year just didn't go to class. I was holed up in my room. I withdrew from everybody. I was very, very deep in dark thoughts and everything, and I didn't know what to do. I just thought that, things were supposed to get better. I realized at that time I just couldn't be in that environment anymore, and unfortunately I had to withdraw and figure out my life again, and that was kind of the really rough spot for me, because for the first time in my life I went from being a keen person with a bright future to who knows, I didn't have anything going for me at that time, and that was terrifying. So that led to a really volatile time in my life. I was on medication and then off of medication. At that point I started feeling very upset a lot. It went into some suicidal ideation and level of thinking. I would not know how to control myself. I would be trying to choke myself. I'd be trying to hurt myself. I would want to just get away and leave and do silly things. I had tried to get out of a car that was moving on the freeway once. So things were not well. I knew I wasn't okay, and I was just not sure of my state of mind. Everything felt very rocky and just unsure. At that point, I just wanted to pretty much not exist anymore. I didn't know if I could get to that point of committing suicide, but I wanted to bring myself down enough to the point that I didn't even care anymore. I know my family was very concerned about me, and my friends as well. They would try to reach out, and a lot of it was just the withdrawal. I couldn't talk to them about it, and I know that they'd be devastated if I were to ever do anything, and so I didn't want to, but at the same time I couldn't live with the hurt anymore. And I went to CAMH, that's a mental health hospital here in Toronto. I've been to their emergency more than once. I've been to their outpatient program and various clinics, and that was the first time I remember the nurse telling me that this is like your biggest step as you got here. You went through those doors and you made it here, and things are gonna look different. And I just want to believe it so bad, but at that time, that was like my last hope, my last straw. So after being released from the hospital and the services there, things did start to turn around. I had a more proper diagnosis, was trying different medications, and although the bipolar depression anxiety that I have still exists and is very much part of my everyday life, I've been able to better cope with it and deal with it in a way that it's not as invasive. It's just something I have to deal with, but it does not consume me anymore. Part of my recovery journey, I've done many groups, mindfulness, protection kind of plans for myself, built my wellness toolbox. I do a lot of hot yoga. I am part of an aerial circus group, which strictly is for members of the mental health community, and we put on shows. Have animals, and I love taking them out. And just the people around me, just the friends I made through mental health groups and otherwise have really just helped me learn to better deal with what I'm dealing with. I've just been able to help so many people just from the things that I've learned, and that's really helped my growth and keeping me more stable. You should never be afraid to ask for help. One of my struggles was asking for help again and struggling more than once. No matter what, there will be somebody out there who can at least listen to your story or put you in the right direction. You're not alone, and things can get better. You have to put in a little bit of work, but there's so much support out there for you. I'm glad we can raise awareness, but we need to raise money as well. That's why together we created a GoFundMe in order to help raise funds and support for CAMH, or the Center of Addiction for Mental Health. So CAMH helps in many aspects, people dealing with various addictions, any kind of mental health issues. They have their emergency department, they have inpatient where you can stay there, they have outpatient, which is what I did. They also have clinics that you can drop in, see psychiatrists, and many more that I also maybe have not accessed personally, but there's just so much that they do for the general population, and that's why we want to help in raising funds so that they can continue to support people and expand on that as well. So this money would be going to anything CAMH needs to do to help improve their service for clientele, help with their research and programming, and pretty much anything to help build awareness and allow people of the general public to know that they exist and what they're doing. So we would really appreciate for you to support this cause. Please be sure to donate. Anything helps. Let's make a difference. With your help, we can save many people's lives.